Hello everyone, it's Peg. If you watched my video from yesterday, you know that right now, this week, what we are doing is a creative arts collaboration, and it's all about Pantone colors, which are rose quartz and serenity, which are kind of a purpley, very soft pastel blue and a corally pink color. Well, I started looking at this and I thought, I like what's going on so far, but I want to experiment with a few other color additions because, this is part of the red family, this is part of the blue family. The other primary would be the yellow, so I'm thinking, well, do we need something like that, or do we just need to stick with those things? So these are some experimental pieces that I had started with, and so I'm going to I have some glazing medium. This is yellow ochre. And the first piece, I'm just going to put some of that glazing medium onto. And this is not a sealed card, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to wipe much off, but typically you would have a coat of something on here so that you could do a wipe off. And one thing that I could do to achieve that is I've got some shoe polish. This is Cordova. I'm thinking that this is kind of in the reddish family. So if I took another piece of this sample and just got a little bit of that shoe polish on my rag, and came in and put that on, it's almost like a purpley hue, which I like the purple with this too. So let's get some of that onto a card and see what goes on with that. Doesn't always want to go down in those crevices, which might be okay too. Okay, so this I think has been there long enough. I'm going to get a baby wipe and I'm going to wipe that back and see what happens. Yeah, see, this is more me because it's got a little bit of grunge around those raised areas now. So that's fun, but not quite bright enough. So I also have some violet earth. So let's try a little violet earth on here. We'll let that soak in around those raised areas. And let's come back to this piece now and see what happens. Yeah, see, that doesn't wipe off. That saturates because I didn't have any kind of seal on there. Now, if I had put a little, like, coating of some gesso or something over the top, I might have had a little better luck. So, I like that. And you can see where the paint is. I can bring it all the way back down to the paint. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. Now, that's still pretty wet. Let's let that go. Now, another thing, I had some flat, which was just the paint on cardstock where I'd kind of done a ink blot. Let me dry my spot here. Otherwise, I'll be transferring all this stuff to every piece I do here. So, okay. So what I'm thinking with this is I want to put something on here. What do I want? Do I want a... I think I should probably go bold and do a card type thing. So let's see what we have here. I have some stamps. There's a nice one. Let's do that. Okay, so these are some stamps that a friend of mine had sent me. And I think what I want to do with this is go to my Versamark. And you can get that in the pen form and as a pad. So I'm going to get this nice and juicy with the Versamark. And then I'm going to stamp that on here. And I think I'd like this other image on there too. Let's see what this says. This is kind of a daisy, and what is this? Oh, another little daisy. Yeah, that might work too. Okay, let's put some of this down here, and this nice daisy. Let's put over here, like so. Okay, so now I've got the Versamark on there. I think what I'd like to do is come in with some of these colors. Now, I'm not sure exactly what colors I want to use on here because, like I said, I like the contrast between the different colors. So, you know, I'm drawn to more of the golds and things. I also like this darker hues in here. So let's just go with the darker colors and see what happens. This is a magenta, and I'm just going to pick that up, go into my flowers here, and then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to grab a little bit of this blue just to mix it up a bit. Go around the edge of my card, blend it out. Okay, and then I want to take my rag and just polish that out. Okay, so that makes a really nice card background. I should put a saying of some sort on that. What do I have here? Here's a nice one. Let me get a black pad. Maybe my pad is drying out. So, in that instance, we will take a Sharpie and do this. So yesterday, I came home from Create Exchange. We were down there making cards for veterans and talking with my friends, you know, talking art. And I came home because I was trying to render that video from yesterday. I kind of left in a hurry and it was still uploading. And so I came downstairs and I'd been sitting so much in my chair that I decided I needed an additional cushion on my chair because it's not a real soft, it's like an office rolly chair, okay? And so I'd gotten this extra cushion and I went to sit down and the cushion was higher, so I had to kind of jump up to get on the chair. It's one of those that's got those air springs in it, and so it goes up and down and up and down. So anyway, I go to sit on the chair, and I get about half of a cheek on there, and the whole thing rolls out from underneath. So there I am on the floor in a lump, and I'm looking up, and I'm saying, oh, there's pan pastels. I need to use those. So this is the result of my catastrophe from yesterday. Because I happened to look up and there they were on the shelf. And I do that a lot of times. I'll, you know, think, what am I going to work with today? And I'll look around the room. So I like to be able to see my products and things. If I've got them stuck away in a drawer, sometimes I forget because I'm pretty obvious. I'm a pretty obvious person. It needs to be right there in my face. So I'm just tracing over this because the ink really didn't come out as well as I would like. So that'll make it pop. And then I will mount that onto a black card and put a liner in it. And this, my dear friends, will make a pretty card for one of my friends. Isn't that cool? And that's just some of those paints and a little Versamark and some pan pastel. But I'll finish that up. Now, let's go back. Ooh, what was I doing here? I bet that's gotten a little too dry. I need to get my wet wipe. I'm yakking instead of making. Okay, get my wet wipe. And this was the glaze. Yeah, I like how that glaze kind of grunged that up a bit. See there? That's cool. So, that being said, oh, the other thing before I forget, on that card we just did, this one, what I recommend is this Spectra Fix. It's a pastel fixative, and it is, you know, not toxic or anything, so you can spray this in the studio and it's not going to hurt you. So I'm just going to lightly spritz that before I forget it and let that dry. Okay, then put that with those stamps. Let's see. Let's make this pop a little bit more. So dry it. And I'm just working on some watercolor cardstock here. This is cheap stuff. That's why it, is wanting to pill on me, because this is like Walmart brand stuff. It's not the good stuff. If you have the good stuff, I recommend using it. But I got this and I need to use it up. So this is a good place, just experimenting and trying things, to use it. Okay, so we've got this nice grungy piece. What do I want to do on here? I think let's stamp something. Do I want a pen? Do I want a paintbrush? I think I like the paintbrush. Let's see. Do I have a good black? Hopefully I've inked this recently. Oh yeah. Not too shabby. And I'll stamp that right on here. Oops. So that's fun. And let me bring this down this way a little bit. You guys are missing some of the action. Okay. What else do I have? Here. Tag art. Okay. So that's good to go. Then these, I'll be stamping these up with something too. So you might notice where I'm going with this. If you guys have seen, yeah, I like that. If you guys have seen those pocket letters, I'm going to take these pieces that I'm just playing with and creating and do some pocket letters for my friends. Let's see, is that going to fit? Kinda, sorta. We'll give it a try. Okay, what's better is if I might have to go off the edge a bit. Okay. And I might need something wild and crazy on there. Like what? What do I want? Like that maybe. Or that maybe. Nope. This. Okay. So this is going to call for something to stick it down with. So I'll grab my sequin tape. I'll just move that to the back side. I hope you guys don't mind my mutterings, because I kind of do a lot of that when I create. and ramble. I don't really say anything. So you're probably saying, what is she talking about? What is she talking about? Okay. So got that. And we'll just put a little more tape on here. Sometimes the paper is so textured that the stuff doesn't want to peel off. So much for that. I'm going to put this on a backer. Kind of center it. So that's 2 tags. Now, we've done glazing and we've done pen pastel, and I'm still not sure which I like. So let's just go for it, right? We've got these pieces we started, right? And I have coated these with some clear gesso. So this one, I really like that purpley effect. I think I might go for the shoe polish on this. So let's try that, shall we? Yes, let's do. All right. So here we go. I'm going to get the shoe polish and just rub away. I don't think I'm going to go all the way over. I think I want to maintain some of that pinky hue in there. But I think I want to come down to this other corner and darken this up a bit. Now I'm trying to work some of that down into the crevices. I want to come back and wipe away, but I want to highlight that texture a little bit, so I'm just going to work that in there a bit. And let's see, I think I need to soften this edge. Sorry, I got a little lint from, I use this is when my daughter was working, she had these shirts, so I use them for rags because we have stuff left over and we're not working there anymore, so we cut them up. Okay, I'm gonna let this one sit for a bit before I come back and polish. So that's that with the shoe polish. Now, do I want to glaze another one, or do I want to, what do I want to do? You know, I have, don't have to go with those glazes. I have a, where is it? Where is it? I had a pearl glaze. Hold on. Okay, so before I completely forget about this piece, I think I need to come back in and polish this a bit. So I'm going to just take a clean rag and give this a bit of a buff, just like if you were buffing your shoes. There we go. Kind of cool. Okay, and then I think, do I want, this is a plum. That'd be pretty. Or do I want to go with blue violet? That's nice too. I don't know. Let's try it out. See what we like. Maybe both. So what I'm talking about is these are permanent inks, and I'm going to get a sponge applicator. And then I'm just going to hit the edges. Bring this up a bit. Okay. That's color number 1. Let's go for color number 2, which is blue violet, which is very close to what we're looking for, which is a violety blue for this project. Yeah, I'm liking that. Needs a little something right in there. Maybe I need more of the red in there. Now I need to take it back. With a little more blue. Oops. Oops, oops. Didn't mean to drop that. Sorry for my big arm. And my hand dried off. Okay. And one last buff. I think I'm going to get that blue off the lettering. So I'm going to take a baby wipe and work that. Yeah, that's more to my liking. It's more of the grungy girl thing going on. Okay. Now, I have one last canvas here, which is this one. And my plan for this is I have all of these embellishments that my friend, I am a patron of the Craft Shack and Cece and several artists, and so part of being a patron is you get rewards for being a patron, and so the Craft Shack has been sending me these samples, and I need to use them on something. So I'm thinking, these aren't my typical colors, but they would be pretty on this canvas, because the colors are very much in line with what we're doing here. So I think I'm going to apply those to this canvas, call this a day, and talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye. Okay, let me give you a quick overview of what I've been doing in the last couple of days. This was that original canvas that I started, and I put the shoe polish over and did the drop shadow stenciling, and overall, I'm not too unhappy with that one. I may still play with it some more, but for now, I'm going to let it set. The second canvas that I did was this one, Love Completely, Always and Forever. And I really like how those, what I'm calling hollyhocks, turned out. I used some of those sparkly embellishments that I'd gotten as a patron of the Craft Shack in my monthly rewards. And I never would have used them, but they were there, and I like them. I'm thinking, I came in and did some splattering and little highlighting and things with some more paint, but I'm thinking that I might even come back in now with the pearl glaze over the top. This glue is still drying, that's why I'm not doing that now, but this might give a real shine to the whole surface. I did use some on a card, and I'll show that to you, but you remember what we started with were these just little pieces of watercolor paper that I'd splotched some paint onto and put some texture paste onto, and then we created with the pan pastels onto some of that card and used some ink. So it went from this to this. And, you know, if you guys have questions, be sure and put them in the comments below. I will answer you. I usually read all of the things that come into me, so feel free to just, you know, let me know what you're not understanding or you need to know more about. And then lastly, all of those pieces that I had are here. What I did is I ended up creating a pocket letter out of this. And, you know, you stuff little treats into the back of a pocket letter, and I still have to fill this up. I have a friend that's having a birthday, so I thought this would be a nice little thing to send to her. And so you can see that I did a lot of different techniques. Here's one of those cards that had the texture and the shoe polish and everything on too. And this is the card that I ended up using the glazing on. I don't know if you can pick up the shimmer on there. That's from using this pearl glaze over the top. And then this is just some inking and stamping. This is die cut and some washi and a punched piece. This is from a napkin where I had glued a napkin down and put adhesive over the top and glitter. And here's another little ATC card that's in the pocket. And this one was done with just a stamp from Penny Black. I think this is the stamp that I ended up using, and that's a plum ink. It's a permanent ink from Ranger Adirondack line. And another one where I had applied some ink and color to the background. And this one is where I used some of the glazing medium. Remember I had out a couple of different types of glazing medium. So I'm going to finish up my pocket letter and get it into the mail, but I'm happy how that one turned out too. So thanks for stopping by. Be sure to check out all the other artists that are doing this hashtag for this month, and follow along and see what they're creating, because there's a lot of really cool art out there. Bye for now.